Welcome back to Under the Sheets with Tatiana Ashbourne and friends, brought to you by Dirty Talk. I'm Tatiana Ashbourne, and these are my friends. This is Beth and Josh, everybody! Laugh about it.
Give it to me, baby.
Learn about it. Love it or hate it. Let's do it. Under the Sheets with Tatiana Ashbourne and friends. Coming up in this episode. Have you ever been paid or paid for sex?
I have.
Okay.
Really? I was paid £30 to...
Stay tuned to see what happens. Thanks for coming on the show and in my bed. What made you want to come down?
Well, a couple of things to support you, of course.
Thank you very much.
And just to, just talk about my experiences and, give a little bit of advice, perhaps, to people.
Of course. And how about you?
To completely humiliate myself.
Yeah, that's the best thing to do.
Yeah.
That's what this bed's here for. Yeah, I've heard many stories and stories that are still ready to come out as well. So talk to me a bit about you guys. How long have you been friends for? How did you meet?
So I first met Josh when we met at Yale Crown in Edenbridge, and he was the delivery boy. First of all, I actually thought he fancied me, but he was actually delivering tapas and I was working there, so then we became friends, and that was probably a year and a bit ago.
Yeah, second lockdown.
Yeah.
Okay.
So since then, ever since we've been inseparable.
Oh, that's sweet.
Hmm.
How long will it last?
Forever.
Hopefully for a lifetime.
Oh, I thought you were going to make a joke and say hopefully soon it will end.
No.
So would you rather win the lottery or meet your soulmate?
Win the lottery.
Yeah, win the lottery.
Okay.
Win the lottery, 100%.
Okay. Why is that? Do you believe in soulmates?
I do. I do, but I think I'd rather win the lottery because then
You can pay for a soulmate.
you can pay for a soulmate.
That's so good. That's so good answer.
But also, then you've just got money to do what you want with. To live the best life.
Yeah.
So, I think I'd rather... I don't know, it's a hard one. But I'm more towards win the lottery, I think.
Same.
As bad as that sounds.
Yeah. And as you talked about, you could pay for a soulmate. Have you ever been paid or paid for sex?
I have.
Okay.
Really?
I was paid £30 to give an old man head.
No way.
Yep.
And how was it?
Lasted less than a minute and I was on the way to the pub.
Wow.
So it was fine.
That's so cool. So what was the approach? How did you know, can I ask how old he was?
73.
Wow. Okay.
And just through the dating site and
Okay.
he asked me and I took the offer.
Yeah. And would you do it again?
No.
What put you
well,
off?
maybe for more and for younger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's so good. Okay. How important is it to keep friendships within a relationship? So
in the means of having a boyfriend and
having friends. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's important. So one lesson I learned when I was 16, I met some guy that I was with for 7.5 years. And at the beginning of our relationship, I missed out on multiple girls' holidays to Ibiza and other places because I prioritised me and my partner at the time.
Yeah.
But then now that I'm not with that guy, and when I think back to it, it's like I wish I experienced those holidays with the girls.
Yeah.
So I think by the time I went on my, it's like when you're young, when you're 18 and you go on your first girls' holiday, it's the best times. Whereas I think I went on my first girls' holiday when I was like 21, 22.
Yeah.
So I missed out on good times, which I wish that I never did that I would prioritise a balance, basically,
Yeah.
of friends and boyfriend.
definitely. Yeah. And you're obviously in a relationship now, and what's your relationship status?
Single.
Okay. And have you ever had a relationship?
Not really.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but not. I wouldn't say it's serious. They were never serious. They didn't get that.
Okay.
Didn't get that deep.
Yeah. And do you see yourself in a relationship, or are you waiting for one, or?
I would love to get in a relationship because I want kids and I want marriage, so I would love that. But at the moment, I just can't be asked.
Yeah. It's a commitment. It's difficult. It is a commitment. And with your relationship now, how long have you been with him?
3 years.
Okay. Yeah.
So I've always been in quite long-term relationships. So like I said, when I was 16, I was with someone for 7.5 years. Mm-hmm. Then I was single for 3 months, intended to have like a year to be single. And I booked a few holidays the year before the pandemic.
Yeah.
And then my friend introduced me to the person I'm with now. Mm-hmm. And then within 3 months, I was with him, and then moved in with him within like 3 months of being with him, and been with him ever since.
What do people not realise about moving in with someone in a relationship?
It is intense. I think for me, what I loved about it at first is because my ex lived at home with his mum and I live with my parents, you don't get that privacy.
Yeah.
So even like if you want to have sex or if you want to do something, it's like you're always like, oh, like, can my mum and dad hear?
Yeah.
And there's been a couple of occasions where I've nearly been caught, and it's the most awkward thing ever.
With your parents?
With my ex-partner's mum. She caught me once doing something to him.
Walked into the bedroom.
Oh, it's so bad.
Oh, go on.
So bad. Okay, so basically it was on a Sunday.
Yeah.
And me and him were in his room, and I was on the bed and I was on all fours about to go down there, and let's say that's his penis. It was like right there. And then his mum didn't even knock on the door and walked in with a pile of washing, and our eyes just met contact, and 10 minutes later, no word of a lie, guess what we had to go and eat?
Oh, no.
A sausage casserole. And I was sat there cringing, like saying to him, I can't go down in that food, like I can't do this. The second time was at my mum and dad's house, and we live in a bungalow, so where the 3 bedrooms are, they're quite close together.
Yeah.
And my mum, me and my ex-partner were having sex, and my mum came in with pizza. And we just basically had to like lay there with him still inserted in me whilst my mum put in this pizza. So, but I would say for moving in with someone...
Oh yeah, back to the
back to the question. I would say for me, I've always given advice to my friends, like, don't take things too quickly. But I did that with my partner now, where within a few months I basically moved in. And the thing is with us, we had the pandemic, so we haven't been on a holiday yet or things like that.
Yeah.
But I think it very quickly got to a stage where you get to know each other. And for me personally, it was like I started to feel like a housewife at quite a young age.
Yeah.
Like I was 24 at the time, and I felt like I had just gone boom. Like I'm now in a house that I've got to clean, look after, make dinner, and I just felt like I was a married woman, basically. So I think for me, that made me feel a little bit, am I doing the right thing? Also homesick as well. I did feel really homesick at first, but then that slowly went. So yeah, I would say that was quite hard.
And do you feel like do you still feel like you rushed it and you got into it and you missed out on a few things? Or are you actually, that was really good for me? I've learned a lot.
Yeah, I think it was, I'm a big believer that everything happens for a reason. So for me, I made that decision in the time to, and also, again, with the pandemic, it was, I either had the choice of living with him or living with my mum and dad, because my dad was high risk. So it was like either I leave his house and go stay with my mum and dad for however long, or live with him. So for me, it was a no-brainer. It was like, I'd rather live here.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was hard, but I wouldn't take anything back, I don't think.
Yeah. Okay, and what is your favourite thing to do in the bedroom for both of you?
I just enjoy sex. I don't have a favourite. I don't have any kinks. I
Yeah.
don't do bondage. I don't anything like that. I just, if we can have good sex, that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
For me, I would say that, what, in terms of positions or what? Like, what you, like...
Yeah, like, is there... Well, do you have any kinks or fetishes? What's your favourite position?
No. So I don't have a fetish.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have anything like that, but there's certain positions that I prefer than others. So I prefer doggy.
Okay.
And I also like reverse cowgirl.
Okay. We had another one of those.
Today?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Before you got here, so sorry if the sheets are dirty.
The sheets smell.
Have you ever been heartbroken?
No.
No, I've never been heartbroken before. I've slept with 3 people. I'm 27. I've slept with 3 people. One of them, who I lost my virginity to, was just like a one-night thing.
Yeah.
The second person I was with for 7.5 years, but that wasn't necessarily heartbreak. I knew a year before I split up with him that I wasn't happy. So it was kind of like a build-up of knowing that I wasn't happy, but just having the confidence
to do it.
To do it, because where I met him when I was so young, it was me imagining my life without him and thinking, can I do it? But then when I realised that, yes, I can, I dumped him, but it wasn't heartbreak, and then I'm with the third person now.
Yeah.
So, no, I've never been heartbroken.
And you know.
No.
Yeah.
I've cried plenty of times, but I've never been heartbroken.
Yeah. And you were saying about your first time. Can I know your first time stories?
If I can remember. My first time was with a gal. It wasn't full intercourse. It was some foreplay. And I soon realised that wasn't for me.
Yeah.
And then, if I'm honest, I probably can't actually tell you my first time.
Yeah.
It was a long time ago, and there's been many other people since then. So
Yeah.
and they're hard because I've never actually had sex in my own house. I've never had sex in someone's house. It's always outdoors. Or
Okay. What's the most
On a bus.
adventurous? On a bus.
Yeah.
With the bus driver.
With the bus driver? Yeah.
No way!
Yeah.
It was a night bus.
That's so
It
cool.
wasn't a night bus. It was coming back from Lingfield at 3:30 in the afternoon after I finished working the hairdressers when I used to work. And we met on Grindr, and he was driving the bus and ended up getting on, and he locked the doors, and we just drove home, and we pulled over in a lay-by, and I sucked him off in the bus, and then I met him a couple of days later in the bus again when he was doing rail replacement, and I had sex with him on the back seats.
Wow. But there's CCTV cameras in buses, aren't there?
Yeah.
Taking that risk.
Taking that risk.
But yeah, that could be the most adventurous place, but I have also had sex in the back of a white transit van on the side of the M25.
That sounds very dodgy.
It was, and it was very uncomfortable.
How did that occur?
Through Grindr.
Wow.
Yeah.
God, you're very busy on Grindr then.
This was years ago. I don't really use Grindr that much anymore.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. What amazing. And
You were still thinking about the bus. Thinking, right, got on that bus before.
yeah, how can I get that? Oh, that's so funny. And talk to me about your first time.
So, my first time, I was a little bit younger than what I wanted to be. I was 15, I think. Yeah, 15. And I went to a house party. As you do at 15, you go to house parties, get very drunk, and it wasn't the way I imagined it, basically. I got very drunk. This guy that I kind of fancied at the party was there, and a group of us fell asleep in the front room, and the next day I woke up basically knowing from things down there that I had had sex, but I never...
Okay.
But then I started to have flashbacks of like basically his face on top of me. So that's when I realised that I'd lost my virginity. So I was devastated because, one, I didn't remember it really, and two, it wasn't the way I wanted to lose my virginity.
Yeah.
My mum is 57 and she's only slept with 2 people.
Yeah.
So, which is my dad and this other guy who she was with for a year when she was younger. So I've never been opinionated in it. You know, I've got friends that have slept with loads of people.
Yeah.
And it doesn't bother me. I don't look at them and think...
Yeah.
But I've just always looked at my mum with respect, thinking, you know, that's... So I've always wanted to lead in that direction as well. So I was a little bit disappointed with myself that it happened in that sense. But also, I don't... You know, when people say how many people have you slept with, I still count him because it is the first person I lost my virginity to. But also at the same time, it's like, well... Is it really? Because you don't really remember it. But,
Yeah. I think, though, that you don't have to count it if you don't want that memory.
Yeah. No, I get that. But it's because I knew it has happened, for me, it's like I just count it as that, you know.
And has that been challenging since that first time? Do you, on occasion, repeatedly think about it?
No.
Or how long were the flashbacks in your head for?
No, not at all. Not for that long. I messaged him on Facebook and it was part of a friendship group, so I would then like see him, but it was never really spoken about. Like I think I was a little bit embarrassed at the fact that it's happened, so it wasn't something that I openly spoke about. But no, it's not something that I still think about today. I think I've moved on from that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. And the difference between, I mean, I don't know whether, what do you think the difference would be between relationship sex and non-relationship sex?
I mean, I don't know because apart from that first time, but again, I don't remember it. I've never had I've never had a one-night stand. I've never, I mean, the relationship I'm in now, I met him on our first date and we didn't have sex on the first date. But then the second day I went back to his and we did have sex.
Yeah.
But now I'm still with him 3 years later. And then the other one I was with 7.5 years. Sometimes, you know, when I speak to my friends that have slept with multiple people, it's like sometimes I think, should have I experienced that? Like, is there a bit more excitement out there? But then also at the same time, it's like if you're sleeping with someone that you have genuine feelings for, then it means more. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, definitely.
So I don't think I've missed out, but it's, I don't, there is a difference. I think if you meet someone that you fancy on a night out, whether it's at a bar or whatever, and then you go back and have sex with them, then it's probably exciting. I've just never experienced it.
And do you find it difficult to hear about your friends' relationships and about relationships when you're not in one?
Not really. I mean, I would love to have one, and it's a lot harder because there's a lot of stigma being like when you're gay, there's kind of so many kind of different things you should fit into, and if you're not kind of that person, then you probably haven't got a chance of getting with that other person. So it is harder, but I don't think I'd say I get annoyed or jealous over other people's relationships. I mean, when it happens, it happens.
Yeah. And do you find it difficult with your heterosexual friends to talk about the stuff that you've done or about the whole sex idea? Because, you know, some people might not get it, you know, and because you experience different things, or do you speak as openly as possible?
No, all my family and friends, we all just speak openly about it. There's no boundaries. I mean, if a girl goes into too much detail, I will just gag because it does make me feel a bit sick. But they're happy to listen to me, so I listen to them.
No, definitely. Okay, best sex you've ever had?
best sex I ever had was with a drag queen that I met at a holiday park in Wales.
Yes.
On the first night I met him, we had sex in every room of his caravan that he was staying in.
How big is the caravan?
There was a few rooms.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was probably just one of the best sex I had. And then I found out that my mum and my sister were doing a late night walk around the caravan park trying to hunt down the caravan that I was in.
No.
And they were knocking on caravan windows trying to figure out what one I was in. Ended up staying there the night and then had to walk across the caravan park in the morning.
Oh gosh.
Walk of shame.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And and did you have an open relationship with your parents growing up and your sister?
Very open.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything was always discussed, not just sex. We told everyone, told each other everything.
Yeah.
And obviously sex, if we was having problems or anything, or if we needed advice, we'd always go to each other. But yeah, I speak to my sister about my sex life. She tells me her sex life. We're all just very open.
Yeah, that's so good. And how about you growing up?
So I would say the best sex that I've had is the first time I orgasmed.
Okay.
Because I orgasmed for the first time when I met the partner I'm currently with.
Okay.
So that relationship I was with for 7.5 years, I never cummed, ever.
And were you conscious of that?
Very.
Okay.
So I was very honest with my friends. I used to tell them, because they would be saying, I've cummed, I've done this, I've done that.
Yeah.
And it got to a point where I thought, I know it sounds weird, but I thought I was abnormal. I was thinking, why can't I come? What the hell? And even to the point, this is so embarrassing. So embarrassing.
Then we love it.
Josh
We want to
knows
hear
this.
it.
So, Dear Deirdre on the back of the Sun newspaper.
No, but okay.
So on the back of a newspaper, you get someone that's called Dear Deirdre, and you get
normally
people...
find them on the tubes and stuff. People read them
that basically send questions in saying, my boyfriend's cheating on me, what should I do?
Yeah.
And I used to look for ones that said, my partner doesn't know I can't come, what can I do? And it was I even went to that extreme thinking, do I book a doctor's appointment? Is there something wrong with me? I think part to do with it is where I live with my parents, he lived with his mum. It was never that. I say exciting. Obviously, went on holidays and stuff, but it just he would finish and then that was it. It's okay, well I'm done, so whatever.
Yeah.
Whereas when I met my current partner, it was only a few weeks of being with him, and funny enough, my cousin was actually downstairs.
No way.
Yeah, she was asleep on the sofa, and me and my partner was upstairs, and yeah, it was the first time I'd actually experienced an orgasm. So for me, that was not a big thing, but it was I actually can come.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm normal. So that for me. But when it comes to family, I've got a brother. It's just me and my brother and my mum and dad. No, I'm not really. I'm happy to speak to my mum about things, but I wouldn't necessarily speak to her about things unless she asked. So, for example, when I met my ex and she knew that I was sexually active at 16, she was asking what contraception I'm on, so she would ask them sort of questions. But my mum, she's always been quite sexually active with my dad, and so she sees that as quite a healthy thing in a relationship. So she's always been are you sexually active with your partner? How many times a week or a month do you have sex? So we speak in that sense, but we don't go into detail because otherwise I just cringe. It's just not, to my friends, but not to my parents.
And talking about safe sex, if by the sounds of it, you and your blowjobs, you must be an expert. How does it work with staying safe? Is that they wear a condom, or is it just that nothing? And also, what STIs can you get from giving a blowjob? How does it work?
I mean, you should, if you don't know them, probably wear protection.
Yeah.
However, I can't say I have.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just because I don't really see how that's gonna feel or
Yeah.
be very nice if you're doing it on a layer of rubber, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you probably should, because there are things that you can get from it. I don't probably know what.
Can you get?
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm really trying to think. This is
Chlamydia
so bad.
probably
This is
could
so
be.
bad. We should know this.
Yeah,
I don't
herpes.
know. Yeah.
But
yeah,
then, does it affect you down here, or does it just affect you?
Probably your
it would
mouth.
it would be your mouth.
But then, can you get
Like with herpes,
chlamydia
you
of the
can get-
mouth?
You
Is that a thing? Does anyone know? Yeah, it is.
Oh,
Thing.
okay. What about crabs?
That's downstairs.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well, we learn something new every day. What's the most challenging thing you have overcome in a relationship?
Blimey. I would say with my current partner is finding that balance of when I said I moved in with him.
Yeah.
And then you have that honeymoon period, but that obviously escalated quickly because then we was living together full time in the pandemic. So I was working from home full time because that's when I used to work in London. So my job was working from home.
Yeah.
He's a builder, so he would be out at work. And then it's just where it was just the two of us, it was quite intense quite quickly. So I think it was finding that balance of basically understanding each other's personalities a lot more.
Yeah.
And what you appreciate from people. I mean, I've never been materialistic. I'm not one that wants to be taken out for dates all the time or wants to design a bag or wants a ring on my finger. For me, it's the little things like waking up in the morning and someone making you a cup of tea or, you know, popping out to the shops and saying, oh, I bought you this, or, you know, even, sounds so silly, but even, oh, I'm going to take the dog for a walk today.
Yeah.
You don't need to do that. Just little things like that matter so much more to me than materialistic things.
Yeah.
So I think for him, it was for him understanding that I'm like that it's the little things that matter the most.
Yeah.
I think with my ex-partner, the reason why we split is because he's a gambling addict.
Okay.
So he, ever since I met him to when I split up with him, he would gamble all the time. I took him to Gamblers Anonymous. I would give him money. I put myself in a lot of debt, which I'm still paying for now.
Yeah.
And it was basically lying to not only my family, but my friends to say that, oh, it's fine. You know, when we used to go on holidays, I would pay for them.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't know that. Even when it came to my birthday or Christmas, I would get my own presents and say it's from him.
Okay.
Just so my family don't say, oh, why has he not got you a present?
Yeah.
So for me, it was what was the most challenging thing to overcome was thinking, when do you put yourself first? Do you know what I mean? It's like, how long can you deal with that for? And for me, it was like my biggest lesson from that relationship is people will only change if they want to change.
Yeah.
You cannot force someone to change, which I've learned. And it's only if they want to in themselves, then they will do that. So I think for me, that was the biggest lesson, but also the biggest thing to overcome in that relationship.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
God, that's an amazing lesson. That was so good. Yeah. Well done. So, yeah. And what do you look for in a relationship?
Stability, rely on that person, honesty, attraction. There has to kind of be some kind of attraction there.
Yeah.
But yeah, just enjoy the same things. Wants to kind of have the same, I don't know, outlook on life. They want the same things.
Wants to have sex
down
in
the
a
road.
house.
Yeah. Blowjobs.
That would be great. Yeah, I think you can make it work if you want it to work, but I think you kind of need to have the same kind of outcome of thing and the same mindset as each other.
Yeah. No, definitely. What's the most embarrassing sex you've ever had?
Embarrassing sex.
Well, probably that story, to be fair.
What,
but-
with the mum coming
Yeah.
in? Yeah, probably that. I mean, it's not sex, but it's still
Yeah.
along those lines. I would say that, but also when I was with my ex, having to basically fake orgasm.
Okay.
That's cringe. That's cringe. No girl wants to fake orgasm, but you feel sorry for that person because you want them to think that they're doing a good job even though they're not doing a good job.
Yeah.
It's like, so for me, I had to do that on a few occasions over 7.5 years. That
Wait, and so is it just waiting until, like, they're finishing and then just making a massive noise? Or is it making noise throughout the whole thing?
So, like I said, he would basically finish his business and then go to the toilet or whatever, and then that's it. Like, he was done. He wouldn't then continue until I had finished. And we're talking minutes, like literally we'd have sex and within minutes he'd be finished and that was it. So for me, sometimes it was more so when I'd had a drink.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily do it when I was sober. It was more so when I'd have a drink that I would then... I think most people, when they've had a drink, are a bit more confident in that situation, that you try different positions and whatever, and then I would basically fake orgasm. So I think for me, that would be my most embarrassing moment, because it was just like, how did you do that? How did you fake orgasm?
I sort of want to see this.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Josh knows, but...
And what, most embarrassing?
I mean, I probably don't have one.
Well, you have a few.
All of my... They're probably not great. They're probably all got some kind of embarrassing aspect about them. So but I've never had a situation where it's like something's happened and I've been embarrassed about it.
Yeah.
But like some of the things I've done are embarrassing.
Can I know a few?
What about the guy with the bus?
Well, no, I wouldn't say that's embarrassing.
No.
I mean, like locations. Locations are just, if you can get it in anywhere, then you're going to take it. Well, I do. So, but I've had sex in a graveyard before, and that's embarrassing.
Okay.
So I mean, like nothing's actually happened that's embarrassed me, but
the
kind
whole
of what's
situation,
happened is, or where it's been happened is embarrassing.
But I didn't necessarily think. I think it's not necessarily embarrassing, but it's quite like, I don't know. I think you've experienced a lot, and it's good for you to have all these different places and to, you know.
Know that I won't go back.
No, yeah. That's great. Yeah. Oh. So, celebrity crushes.
I've got a few. Tom Hardy is my number one man.
Oh yeah,
He's
that's a lot of
unbelievable.
people's.
Unbelievable.
He's probably got a massive Hardy as well.
Hey, boom, 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 boom. So I used to work in Richmond.
Just kept going. Bum, 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 bum.
I used to work in Richmond, and I found out that Tom Hardy lived in Richmond, and I was so tempted to just like
That would have been so
knock
good.
on every house to find out where he lived. But he is unbelievable. Also, what's the guy that... This sounds really bad because now I can't remember his name, but he is an absolute beaut. The guy who passed away in Too Fast, Too Furious.
Oh yeah.
Paul Walker. Paul Walker. Unbelievable. He is insane. Who else? Oh,
I mean, you're being a bit piggy now.
What was that film? You know, The Notebook? I watched that the other day.
Oh, Ryan Reynolds.
He is unreal.
Oh, is it Ryan Gosling? It's Ryan Gosling. Or Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, Ryan Gosling, absolute beaut. And then, I told you I had a lot. Also, what's his name? The one that's in the film with Lady Gaga.
Brad Pitt.
No.
Bradley Cooper. I got Bradley Cooper.
But it's only until I watched that film that I was like, yeah, he's unreal.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they would be my top 4.
Yeah.
But there's many more.
Okay. Now, go on.
When I was younger, I used to have an insane obsession with Holly Hagan from Geordie Shore.
Okay.
What?
To the point where I printed out photos of her and would stick her on my bedroom wall. And then I I think probably the most one would be Danny Dyer from EastEnders. There's something about that man.
No.
Oh my god, I cannot. Oh wow, yeah. I can't see that, unfortunately.
No,
but...
neither.
Oh my god.
Well, I mean, I did suck off a 73-year-old. I don't really have a set type.
So funny. So how did you work out? Was it after you had sex with a girl you realised, yeah, I'm gay?
I think you always kind of know. It's always there. But you eventually just find out after, just trial and error.
Yeah.
You know what you like and what you don't like, and I done it once and I knew that I was never going to do it again. And since then, I've been very gay, so...
Yeah. And coming out, did you have to come out or did you not?
I told my mum and I told my dad, but I've never actually sat any of my friends down and told them that I'm gay because I don't think it needs an explanation.
Definitely
you don't have to tell them.
Yeah.
It's something that you can just deal with.
They
and if they're
probably
close
knew
enough
as
to
well.
you,
Yeah,
exactly,
they
they
know.
know. But none of my friends have actually ever asked me, are you gay? They just know, and we just get on with it.
Yeah.
But no, I just thought I might, like, my mum and dad had the right to know, so I told them, and that's all I've ever told.
Yeah. That's amazing though. I'm so hoping that the world will become like that, where it's just like, it's very, normal to
I mean,
be
I
gay,
knew I knew when I first met Josh, I knew Josh was gay because we used to go to a pub, and this is before me and Josh knew each other. And I used to go in when I first moved to Edenbridge, and I used to go into this pub, and it was like none of my friends lived around there, so it was always a little bit awkward and whatever. And when I first met Josh, he was actually obsessed with my boyfriend, going up to him, kissing him on the lips in front of me, trying to wind me up. And I said to Josh when we became friends, I said, you're lucky you're not a girl, because I would... Sorry, I shouldn't swear.
No,
but
you're allowed to.
I would have slapped you around the face. So the fact that you're a boy, you got away with that, but I still didn't like it.
But then he was a delivery guy, and you thought he had a crush on you.
Well, I know, but that's just because of the way he gave me them eyes, He still doesn't know. But it's because we're now best friends. It's like, we just love each other. But not in that way, Yeah. Not in that way.
And you bought something from your bedroom. This is what makes your bedroom your bedroom.
I did. So I bought my wax melt, and the reason why, I'm not going to lie, when you first said you need to bring something from your bedroom, I was thinking... what do I bring? Do I bring a pillow? Do I bring... So I bought this. The reason being is I'm obsessed with candles. Like, if I'm stressed, if I'm upset, if I'm whatever, I will have a nice bath with candles. And if I'm in bed, chilling, watching TV, and a candle's on, then I'm just in my element. So that's why I bought this, because it doesn't matter however old I am, I'll always have a nice... wax burner going on in the background that will just
so nice.
Chill me out.
Yeah, okay.
So that's why I bought
what
this.
did you bring from your bedroom?
I bought my Alexa.
Lovely.
Because I rely on her a lot.
Okay.
She wakes me up in the morning.
Yeah.
She tells me the weather.
Yeah.
And she helps me get ready for a night out.
Perfect.
How did she get... How?
Music, Beth.
Oh, music. I was thinking you was going to say, you look great, Josh. Yeah, that's the outfit. That's the one.
You should set that. That'd be so funny.
Tell me I look good.
That would be so good. And so candles and music, is that romantic for you?
No.
Does that put you in the mood?
That would make me sick.
Absolutely not.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
No, candles and music.
Oh, candles and music. Yeah. That
So
would
you're
just
not
cringe me
romantic
out.
people?
I am, but I get cringed quite quickly. Do you know what I mean? I remember when I was with my ex-boyfriend, I don't like, some of my friends do, but I'm not that sort of person to like dress up and to like, so for example, one of my friends who's been in a relationship for a long time, he will buy her things from Ann Summers all the time.
Yeah.
It will turn up to the house and she'll just be like, oh, okay, I need to wear that tonight, which in a way is quite hot, like it is quite sexy, but I've always cringed over things like that. Like if it's me, like, oh, what do I do? And I had this outfit that was, it was a black lace outfit, and it had your nipples out,
Right.
and it would go down your stomach, but it was only like a little thin bit in by your belly button, basically, and then at the down below area there was a slit, and it was New Year's Eve, and I was thinking, Beth, just do it, like just put it on and do it. And I was thinking, because my mum and dad were out, so I was thinking, but where do I do it? Do I do it when I'm in the bedroom? So what I decided to do, I put it on and I just laid in the front room on the floor like a starfish, right? I was thinking, he went to the toilet. He was gone for about half an hour, so he was obviously doing a number 2. And I was laying there thinking, how long do I lay like this for until he comes in? Like, imagine if my mum and dad came in like, Happy New Year! And I'm there like... so I'm not really... If I'd had like I said, if I've had like a drink, then I'm definitely more adventurous. I think most people are, but yeah, I'm just not.
And what's the most romantic thing that someone's done for you guys?
Bought me a pizza.
Yeah, I was going to say bought me McDonald's on a date. That's probably about it.
Yeah. And does that please you, or do you wish there was something else that was going on?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
I
food
mean...
is the way to the heart, so...
Yeah. No,
yeah,
that is
that
true.
would please me.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, I've always been one for like little things.
Yeah.
If someone shows me that they've thought about me and they've done a little thing, that means a lot to me. So for me, I have always wanted that.
And what would the best date idea be for you?
Nothing too physical.
Really?
Yeah. I can't stand walking, so don't take me on a
through
walk.
the woods.
Yeah.
Take me out for dinner and a drink, and then we'll find a park somewhere. As long as I don't have to walk too far, then
yeah.
that's fine. But no, I don't. Something nice, something that you can kind of enjoy. You can get to know them.
Yeah.
But yeah, not anything too physical. Rock climbing, no. Walking.
Oh, I thought you meant too physical as in like sexual.
No, Beth.
Oh, like physical as in like, right, got you.
To be fair, I did agree with you at that point.
I was like, really?
That sounds like you. Yeah. Let's go to audience questions now, if we have any. Let's see. Do you both see yourself getting married?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, my friend's getting married this year. She's the first one out of all of us girls that's getting married. And yeah, for me, I've always pictured myself having that security and just having that day to like, I am as cringy as it sounds, a hopeless romantic. Like, I do want that marriage, kids and everything like that. So yeah, for me, I want to get married. Definitely.
Yeah, and as you said, you have wanted to.
Yeah, I've always thought about marriage. So yeah, it's something I do want. I don't know when, but I hope it will happen one day.
Yeah, and do you look at your parents and think what they had and that's exactly what you want? Or do you look at your parents and think, oh God, I would do it so differently?
Yeah.
Yeah, my mum and dad were married. My mum passed away last August, so obviously it's a bit of a different situation now, but they are married. They actually had their wedding reception at the Crown in Edenbridge.
Which is where she had her wake as well.
So yeah, I did. Obviously, I used to always look at their wedding pictures and thought I would like that. Obviously, it would be different. It would be 2 males and not a male and a female. But yeah, I do want that, and I am excited for it.
Amazing. I'm excited as well because I can't wait to see who you're going to be with. It's going to be so exciting. Do either of you have celebrity crushes? And oh no, hang on. What would you do? Oh, there we go. What would you do with them on the perfect night?
Tom Hardy, they'd be straight to the bedroom. Sorry. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
That would be it.
I think I'd have a drink.
A drink?
I would have a drink with Danny Dyer at the Queen Vic, and then I would go upstairs.
Where's the Queen Vic?
In
The
East
one
London,
in- Oh, I don't watch
It's
it.
not a real place, obviously, but he works there, so...
Yeah, that would be perfect.
Yeah, straight to the bedroom for me.
You said you've paid for sex. You've been paid. Did you ever consider it as a career move?
No. No, not at all. I mean, I've thought about OnlyFans before, but no, I never took it anywhere, so Maybe I did think about it as a career, but it's never happened.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you a top or bottom?
I am verse bottom.
Oh. Why isn't it verse top? I don't quite get it.
What does verse bottom mean?
That
Verse
you're-
is versatile, so you can be a top or a bottom.
So
But
you're
you
like,
prefer
don't
bottom,
mind.
but you're verse.
I will. If
So-
someone wants to be f***ed, then I will f*** them.
Yeah.
But I would prefer to be the bottom and get f***ed.
Yeah. Okay. And why is that?
Because it feels better.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it feels better, and you also don't have to do a lot, so...
Yeah.
You don't have to use a lot of physical energy.
Yes.
I said I don't want anything too physical, so...
When you say that you hadn't come for many years, did you never try to make yourself come? Did your friends not mention masturbation?
Good question. Yes, I did, but I don't know. I've never really been that into self-masturbation, to be honest. Like, I would rather have sex or rather someone else pleasure me than pleasure myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, of course, after a certain time, when I wasn't orgasming, I thought, well, why not? And so I think another thing is where I couldn't even make myself come. It was like I said, is there something wrong with me? Can I not orgasm? So yeah, I did try, but because it never worked, I think now that I have come, now I know the area and what gets me going. Now I know that, do you know what I mean? Whereas before it was always like, it's never really turned me on doing something to myself.
Yeah.
It's only if someone else does something to me.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. And and with your friends, did you feel like you were alone in the fact that you hadn't finished? Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I was the only one. I was the only girl. I was the only. There's so when I.
But do you think? Because I know a lot of women that haven't. Do you think it's something that people just were embarrassed to say that they hadn't?
I don't know. I think whether or not the girls would say they had but hadn't, I never know. But I was quite honest with the fact that even though it was embarrassing for me, there was a group of us that we're still very good friends now. There's like 15 of us in total that have been friends for like 15 years. But I just felt that even though it's embarrassing, I'd rather be honest because I'd rather get a bit of advice. At first, I was very like against it, like, oh yeah, but then eventually it was like, I'd rather just be honest. They can give me advice. But they never judged. They just gave me a little bit of advice. Like you said, they would say, do you play with yourself? Do you do this? Do you do that? And then it was like, I remember one of the girls when I first come, she was like, should we have a celebration party? She was like, it's taken you 10 years, Beth. I was like, whoa.
That's so funny. The great stories about blowjobs in buses and vans. What's in it for you? Do you need to climax in those situations to feel fulfilled?
I mean, there's not really a lot in it for me. Obviously, you do get some enjoyment from it yourself. If I'm honest, it was probably just because I was young.
Yeah.
It was there. It was easy to do. But yeah, like, I enjoy it. Like, sex is great. So whether I'm receiving it or they're receiving it, there's still some kind of enjoyment from it. And I would normally get something back in return. So
Okay.
it wouldn't always just be me giving it.
Can I know your blowjob technique? Because it seems like you're...
Christ.
Give an example on the microphone, Josh. I'm joking.
We do have a blow-up penis if you do want to do an example.
That size. I have a terrible gag reflex, so I'm crap at deep throating. So I have a technique of where I just run it down the side of my mouth instead of putting it straight back, and it seems to work. And if you just pop their balls in your mouth, and they love it.
Teabag.
Yeah. Sounds great. Why didn't you try to communicate instead of simulating with your ex?
I think 'cause I didn't want to embarrass him. Like, I think for a man, in their pride, they want to know that they're pleasuring the girl or guy that you're with. But for me, I just think that I didn't want to embarrass him, but also, yeah, I don't know. That's a difficult one. I would just rather keep it to myself than say that you're not good enough. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just never said anything. I just, like I said, I would fake orgasm, not every time, but sometimes, to basically say that you are doing a good job, even though you wasn't doing a good job.
And do you find it easier communicating now with your recent partner?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I think that's what I've learned is, I think I've matured a lot since then. Like I said, I'm 27 now. I was 19 at the time.
Yeah.
I was in a young relationship, and now that I've matured a lot, I can be honest with the partner I'm with now to say what I like, what I don't like, and what basically gets me going.
Yeah. Apart from the initial first sex experience that you have mentioned, have either of you ever felt violated following a sex act where you believe that you said no to something but it happened anyway?
No, not for myself.
No. I mean, there was one time at a... Sorry, that just reminded me of one time at band camp. There was one time at a house party where I was sort of seeing this guy. I hadn't had sex with him, and he was being very forceful. Like, you could tell he just wanted to have sex. Whereas for me, when we used to go to house parties, like some of my friends, again, each their own, would be like at the end of the night, maybe upstairs doing whatever with a guy. But for me, I just wasn't like that. And I remember one time at this house party, he tried to get me upstairs and to have sex with me. Yeah. And I was saying no, and he was saying, oh, is it because you're frigid? Like, meaning, are you nervous, whatever? But it's, for me, I just didn't feel comfortable with it at the time. So he then ended things because I then said no. Yeah. So, yeah, I just didn't feel comfortable with doing that. So I wouldn't say I felt violated because nothing actually happened, but I felt disrespected in the sense that you wanted that, and because I said no, it's like, okay, you're done, sort of thing. Yeah,
and call you names when
there's
no
exactly.
point. Yeah. And what's one piece of advice you would give to anyone that's going to have sex, thinking of sex?
Do it when you're ready.
Yeah.
Don't let anyone pressure you into it.
Yeah.
Wear protection. And just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I'm the same. Do it when you're ready. I think for me, the biggest thing was, like, don't feel pressure towards your friends. Like, even if your friends are sleeping with that amount of people, fine, each their own. But if you're not like that, then don't feel like you need to be like that. Yeah. Don't feel like you have to sleep around if you don't want to. Like, it's not in my eyes, unless you want to do that, it's not necessarily a cool thing to do. Whereas I think a lot of girls and boys are pressured into doing that, where it's like, stick to your own feelings. Like, if you don't want to have sex with someone and you're on a night out, then don't do it. Like, just respect yourself enough to just go with your own feelings.
Yes.
Rather than
definitely.
pleasing someone else for the sake of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the advice I'd give.
And I'm going to give you both some gifts. Right, so for Josh, I've got you some boxes that say hot stuff.
Love that.
Because that's what you are. And you like your bath.
I love my bath.
So here's some bath salts that are infused with pheromones.
What does that mean?
Which means that it will...
Gets me horny.
Love
Turn
that.
You on. My partner's a lucky guy after this. Lovely, thank you
very much.
No worries. Thank you so much. This is Josh and Beth, everyone.
Thank you.
If you would like to be a part of the show, please check out our website at www.dirtytalkofficial.com. We welcome all sexualities regardless of your sexual experience. If you would like to be an audience member only, please get in touch the same way. Like and subscribe on all social media platforms.